So hello from the outside. At least I can say that I've tried to tell you I'm sorry. Every time I run a race, whether it's a local 5K or some, big Disney race or any big, half marathon, marathon type of race, I see some things that runners do every single time that just makes me kind of shake my head and not judge, but just question why they're still doing some of these things. So today I want to talk about 3 kind of running myths or just things that I see runners do all the time that the reason that they're being done is not sound, yet we as runners keep doing them. So if you're committing any of these running myths, that's okay, but maybe after seeing this, you'll finally be encouraged to break up with them once and for all. So before we even get to race day, let's talk about something that happens the day before a race for a lot of runners, and even a lot of races kind of promote this idea, and that is the idea of the pre-race kind of pasta dinner carb loading session. I don't know what to say other than the fact that it doesn't make a difference, really, is really what it boils down to. Your body can only store so much glycogen in your muscles, which is what your body uses to fuel you during a race. And whether you eat more carbs the day before or not, if you're at your limit, you're at your limit. I just keep eating healthy right up before the race and I'm good to go. And for the most part, that's going to be the case for you as well. Then when we get to race day, it never fails, and I've talked about this before on here, on the blog, on the podcast, and that is that I see people static stretching before a race. There's no reason to do that, and in fact, there's plenty of reasons to not do that. When you're bending down to touch your toes and you're holding that stretch for 20, 30, 40 seconds, whatever it may be, you're actually going to decrease your performance in the race because your muscles lose some of their elasticity, which means that they lose their power. They lose their ability to fire at the maximum level, which means you're going to run slower. You also run the risk of injuring yourself by stretching muscles that aren't yet warm. So instead, do a warm-up, do an easy mile or something like that of a run, especially for a shorter race like a 5K or 10K. Getting that good warm-up is important. You can also do some lunges or squats or things like that that again are going to warm up your muscles and get your body and your joints moving through a full range of motion. That's a much better suggestion when it comes to pre-race warm-up type of a routine. And then last but not least, the last thing I want to touch on today is the use of compression gear during a race. The science seems to show that there's really no benefit to wearing compression socks or compression sleeves during a race. Now, if you're nursing some little injury, it can help to protect that, but by and large, there's no benefit to wearing compression gear while you're running. Now, on the recovery side, there's a world of evidence that shows that compression gear is great and it's very beneficial for recovery. But for actual performance, for actual race day benefit, there's just not much there. So those are the 3 big myths that I want you to think about breaking up with today and getting rid of. I know that might be asking a lot. And again, if it's part of your routine, I get it, but there's really no benefit. And at least with the case of stretching, there may actually be some detriment to continuing to follow that routine. So just something to think about. And if you have any questions about any of these myths, let me know and I'll do my best to help explain them a little bit further. Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times.